Good afternoon, and welcome to Attorney Commander J.R. Glapohkpa Chesson talk show. This afternoon, the topic of our discussion will be about parenting. We see in Liberia today, we see across the world, in the United States of America, in other nations of the world, we have issues with parenting. So it's best we take some time to discuss this issue, especially in our minority community where we face most of these problems, most of them because of lack of good upbringing, lack of good exposure to good education, to good learning opportunities. So it's in our best interest that shows like mine teach us these things we need to know to enable our society to grow better, to become richer, to raise our children in good environments. These are the things that good parenting, good education, good behavior, and attitude afford us. So let's delve into my teaching today. Guide for better parenting when children matter most. Whatever we do as parents, as people in our community, the children matter to us. They are not only our future, they are our breadwinners. They are our educators. They will replace us in the near future. So it's in our best interest to secure and ensure the good upbringing of our children, the good parenting, teaching our people in the community what they need to know. So what is parenting? We know that these words have different meanings. People have different meaning for them. One meaning is it is a process of raising children and providing them with protection and care in order to ensure their healthy development into adulthood. So it's raising children. It's ensuring their protection, their care, and providing the things that they need for them to grow into healthy adulthood at the age of majority, 18 or 21. So you're responsible for these people, for these young people, from the day they are born until they reach adulthood or their majority. You have to provide for them. And there are many types of parentings. And I want to expose you to them so we can know these different types and where you and your household fit. Because as I was doing this lecture today, I was trying to fit myself in these different areas of parenting. Where do I fit? Where was I brought up on it? And these are the things we'll learn about today. So parenting can also be the raising of a child or children, the raising of a child or the raising of children by its or their parents. So that the same thing as parenting. Anything that has to do with raising your child is parenting. Giving them the necessary education, protection, care. All of that come under education, under their of growth, under their care and everything. All of that come under that. So there are many different types of parenting. Now you know the meaning of parenting. What is parenting? There are different types of parentings. And all of these types of parentings are impacted by our environment. They're impacted by our culture. What do our culture dictate? We have the African culture, we have the American culture, we have the European culture. These are different cultures that have different lifestyles. And each of these different lifestyles dictate what the outgrowth and the socialization process of children will be from their parents, because we are all impacted by our culture. We are all impacted by our ethnic group. Where ethnic group you're from has an impact on you too. Also, your spiritual ideologies. What are your beliefs? Are you a Christian? Are you a Muslim? Are you an animist? All of those have an impact on the kind of parenting you will get. Furthermore, you have your social economic status. Are you wealthy? Are you middle class, getting by? Are you poor? All of that impact the kind of parenting you receive. And finally, single families. Now, in the United States today, the U.S. Bureau of Census data states that 1/4 of children living in America that lived in America from I think they were 2014 Census Bureau report, live in America, live in single family homes. So just imagine 1/4. You got 4/4. 1/4 live in single family homes. Okay. They also stated that, let me make sure I got my notes correct. They also stated that 3/4 of families in America live in households with two parents, two married parents. So you see, this is why the society is so stable in this country, because of the 4/4 of people in America, of families in America. 1/4 is occupied by single families, but 3/4 by married parents. So what does that tell us? That tells us that the society is strong because there's consistency. There's consistency. If 3/4 live in households with two parents that are married, that shows stability in the society itself. The growth of society is better. Okay? How many of us can say that in other societies? Look at in our African society. Can we say that? We don't have statistics to give us these analysis to better our society. We don't have them. So how many families in Liberia are single families? One mother, one father. They don't have two parents. They got only one parent, single family. How many? How many live in married family home? How many live in traditional African family home where the father got 10 children and got 4 wives? You see how our system analysis is different from the United States? Because our cultural setting is different. This is where culture, ethnicity, social upbringing, socialization process, all of that impact parenting. The same thing I was telling you about. These patterns also differ when race and ethnicity are concerned. Okay? So on one hand, we're looking at the realistic aspect of the family, the issues, the analysis, okay, based on culture, based on ethnicity. Now here we are talking about race and ethnicity. So the issues in our society are complex, just like our lives. If we're not dealing with our personal issues, we're dealing with the greater issues of our community that impact us. That's why it is only in our best interest for us to educate our people on how to raise their children, on how to care about societal norms and societal policies. Because I told you, public policies are laws, the way we feel about things, the way we react to things as a community. It's not on the law book. It's not on the law. For example, homosexuality in Africa. In most countries, it's not on the law book. But many Africans abhor it, hate it, don't like it. So when it's in the society, people can react against laws that want to promote it without thinking, because the public does not like that behavior. So the Republic reacts to it in a uniform manner. Everybody will just get on and say, no, it's not happening. We'll demonstrate. We'll do this. It's not going to be a part of our law. We'll not pass homosexual laws in our country. That's public policy. Nobody can tell the people in the society to kick against it. It is their moral norms that compel them to kick against these policies, that promote things that they feel are against their societal norms or their religious norms. Okay? So that's public policy. I told you time and time again about this. So we have to learn that. Let's move on. Every parent's style of raising their children is different based on their approach to interacting and guiding their children. Okay? So everybody's approach is different. Despite our culture, despite our economic, despite our social, despite our single family thing, the way we raise our family is different based on how we interact with our children and the way we guide them. It's different. Our children's morals, principles, conduct are generally established through the bonds with their parents. So, like they tell us, our parents are the first stage in our education process, in our growing process, because it is from our parents that we get our initial traits and education and ideals and norms. We get it from our parents, because if our parents don't like something, obviously they would pass that down to us and cause us not to like it either. Okay? And it is through their teachings. So, researchers have categorized or grouped parenting styles into various categories, into a number of categories. But for us, we deal with the four common categories that most people deal with. Okay? There may be more, but we break it down to only 4 categories. Each of these categories employ a unique approach to how parents raise children. So let's look at these 4 approaches to raising children. The 4 approaches that we're going to study so far are 1, authoritarian, 2, authoritative, 3, permissive, and 4, uninvolved. These are the 4 types of parenting styles that we deal with. There may be more. Researchers have established more, but we will stick with these 4 that are commonly dealt with: authoritarian, authoritative, permissive, and uninvolved. Okay. And I told you that parenting, our style of parenting is based on our culture, on our ethnic and social and spiritual ideologies, our socio-economic status, and single families. All of these impact our parenting style because, especially number 5, single families. Single families are raised different than two parents home. Okay, if you got one mother or one father raising you and your children and your siblings, it may be different than having a mother and a father raising you all together. So that's why it impacts parenting styles. Okay, let's move on. Let's look at these different styles. So what is the authoritarian style of parenting? It is a one-way mode of communication. The parents establish strict rules that children obey. Little to no room for negotiation from children. There's little or no room for negotiation from the children. The rules are not usually explained. The parents expect children to uphold standards while making no errors. Mistakes generally lead to punishment. When the children make mistakes, it generally leads to them being punished. This style of parenting is less nurturing and has high expectations with limited flexibility. Okay? Children raised under this style. Let's tell you what these children do. Children raised under this style are mostly well behaved because of the consequences they will face of misbehaving. They better adhere to precise instructions required to reach a goal. So what am I saying here? What have we said here so far? Under the authoritarian style of parenting, the parents have full control of the upbringing of the child. The children have no say in their own upbringing. The parents lay down all the rules They lay down all the expectation for the children. And the children know these expectations and they are expected to uphold it. But on the other hand, there are no set rules. The parents don't explain it. They don't take time to go through it with the children. They just give the rules, and the children got to live by it or be punished. That's the authoritarian style. You can't make mistakes. You will be punished. Okay? So the parents in this state of parenting are less nurturing. They don't take time to nurture the children, to bring them up with education and direction in the right way. No, they don't nurture them. Okay? It's less nurturing. And they have high expectation with limited flexibilities. That means you either do it or you get punished. There's no negotiation. There's no flexibility for you. Do it or punish. So that's the authoritarian type of parenting. Under this type of parenting, children can flourish or children can fail. One, under this type of parenting, children are mostly well behaved because they're afraid of the consequences of misbehaving. Okay? They will adhere to precise instructions required to achieve a specific goal. Okay? But on the negative side of these things, these children gain higher levels of aggression. That means they're aggressive. They're quick to get angered. Okay? They become more unstable or unstable. But they may also be shy, socially inept. That means they can't communicate with other people. Okay? Because they're so used to being talked to being taken orders, to being punished. They don't know how to interact with other people. Okay? Because everything they got to be told what to do. And when you interact with other people, it's a will of your own volition, your own will. People don't tell you how to interact with other people. Okay? So they become shy, socially inept, and unable to make their own decisions. That is a problem that hurts a lot of young people. When you can't make your own decision, you're like a prisoner in the prison. They can't make their own decision because they are told everything. Authoritative leadership. You do it or be punished. And that's how some people raise their children. Okay? So one thing, it can be good on one side because they well behave, because they know the consequences of their action if they misbehave. Secondly, they know how to take instruction because if they don't do what they're told, they know they will be punished. So they know how to follow instruction to achieve a specific goal. But the negative side to authoritative style of parenting for your children make them become mean and aggressive. Because that's all they know. They can't communicate with you. They can't negotiate with you. They have to just do what you tell them. So they become mean and aggressive because they can't express themselves. It's a one-way mode of communication. Okay? Because of that aggression they can have difficulty managing anger. The same thing I told you. Because they can't express themselves. We are human beings. If we can't express ourselves or tell you how we feel, or we negotiate a better state for ourselves, we become aggressive. We become angry people, bitter, mean. And that will happen with some of these children, that the negative side, they become bitter and mean and can't manage their anger because they have no proper guidance. When you have no guidance, that means there's no two-way negotiation. You can't express yourself. You see, if people just tell you, do this, and you know it's not right for you, you don't have the opportunity to tell them, look, man, it's not right for me. I can't sleep if I do this. I can't eat good. My stomach hurts. It doesn't make me feel good. I have emotional problem. You can't express yourself. They just expect you to do it on every condition. You become an angry man. You are a woman. You become angry. Okay? You don't know how to manage your anger because you did not have the proper education in guidance, in understanding how to manage these things, your emotions, your feelings. You were never taught to do that. You were just taught to take orders. Okay? And secondly, most of these children who are raised under this style of parenting have poor self-esteem, poor self-pride. They have no pride. They don't think well of themselves. They think lowly of themselves. When you hear people talk, oh, I can't do that, man. That can't happen to me, man. Nah, I'm too poor, man. They don't have no self-esteem, lack of confidence, okay? Lack of determination, okay? Strict parenting and rules often influence a child or children to rebel against authority or any authority figures as they grow older. So when you see what's happening, when people just don't like authority, oh man, to hell with that leadership structure, to hell with the president, to hell with the government. They don't respect authority. They don't care about authority. They were raised under that kind of structure, that kind of authoritative structure, authoritarian structure, become mean and bitter, hurt, and disrespectful to any authority figure. Okay? So that's the crux for authoritarian leadership. Okay? Children under those type of leaderships can behave well, they can achieve goals. But the negative part about it is they have aggressive emotional tendencies. They can't control their anger. The smaller things that don't bother other people that are raised under other systems tend to bother these young people and set them ablaze because they have no control over their anger, okay? Because of the way they were raised, okay? The second type of parenting is authoritative. It's slightly different from authoritarian. It's authoritative. This is where the parents develop a close, nurturing relationship with their children. Okay? Authoritative is different from authoritarian. Authoritarian is a one-way mode. The parents don't communicate with the children. They just gave orders, tell them what to do or be punished. Authoritative is different, where the parents develop a close relationship with their children. Okay? Clear guidelines for their expectations and explaining their reasons associated with disciplinary actions are the hallmark of such families. Yeri, the authoritative family sets the authoritative parent sets clear guidelines for their expectations from their children, and they explain the reasons associated with disciplinary actions. So that means the authoritative parents, when they punish their children, they tell them why they punish them, why their behavior is not good, and why they need to change or augment their behaviors. So does the authoritative parent. They are clear to their children in everything they want them to do. So apparently, there is a two-way communication between the parents and the children. Discipline methods used as a way of support instead of punishment. So when authoritative parents discipline their children, they're not doing it so much to punish them for their actions. They're doing it as a support for their upbringing, to let them know that that is not in their best interest. It will not support their production in our society as productive people. So they explain the reasons why they're beating their children, why they're punishing them, why the discipline they're giving them is necessary for their upbringing. That is the authoritative parenting style. Children have input in goals and expectation. I told you, with the authoritative parenting style, it is a two-way street. The parents set clear guidelines. They explain the reason for the discipline, and the children have an input in their goals and the expectation that the parents have of them. Okay? Frequent and appropriate levels of communication between parents and children exist. So, as I told you, unlike the authoritarian family style where there is a one-way street, the authoritative parent style has a two-way street. The parents communicate with the children. The children have an input in their goals and the expectation that the parents have of them. So there is a two-way communication. Okay? This style of parenting leads to the healthiest outcome for children. Okay? So the authoritative type of parenting leads to the best outcome for their children when it comes to their health, their mental, their spiritual, their physical growth and health. This authoritative style of leadership leads to the best outcomes for children. It requires a lot of patience and efforts from both of the parents. Okay? Now, this is not a single family issue. This is where the parents are married. When you're raising these children under this authoritative type of parenting, you have to be patient. You have to teach the children. You have to know how to punish them in the right way. You have to take time and explain to them why you punish them, why it's necessary that they be punished for their actions. All these things are important. And you cannot do it if you're rash and emotional yourself. You got to be patient. You got to put the effort into teaching these children the right way. And I tell you something. As I was reading all these things and making my notes, I thought about my aunt who raised me, Louise Wordsworth Smith. Peace be to her ashes. That was her mother. She didn't have children. She raised me as her own child. And the way that woman raised me, sometimes I think about it today, it freaked me out. It freaks me out. She didn't take no mess from me. My mom used to flog me without thinking. If she thought it was necessary, she did it. But most of the time, she communicated with me. She communicated with me. And the way she did it sometimes, it embarrassed me. So the thing she used to do is say to me, like one time I did something, and people reported me. I expected my mom to come and beat me or chastise me. But what she did, she didn't do that. She waited till the next morning. She fixed me a nice breakfast with eggs, cream of wheat, and toast, everything. She fixed me a nice breakfast. Then she whistled to me. We used to communicate with a whistle. Sometimes she would call me, "Boy Blue, come down," or sometimes she would whistle. And I would answer. Then she would say, "Come." I would run down to her. So we had a mode of communicating, you know. So when she called me down to breakfast like that, I wake up, I would come down to eat. I would sit at the table, I would be eating. Then she would come in and say, "Let me tell you something. The thing you did the other day, I don't like it. Please don't do it again. Or leave my business alone." Or she would say something like that. And I tell you, it would embarrass me because I would not expect that. And now I would expect for her. And by her saying it in that kind of soft, calm manner, it just embarrassed me because I didn't expect it. And that's how my mom raised me. There was communication between us. You know, she didn't stifle me. You know, she didn't let me become an overbearing person either. You know, she didn't give me freedom, unlimited freedom. No, everything was within limits, but we could communicate. When she beat me, she told me why she beat me. And I told you how they used to beat me, man. When I went out and did in Monrovia those days, when I was growing up, you go out, you do something. Before you come home, your parents know about it. People now come and tell them, "Oh, we saw Bob Blue out there doing so and so, fighting in the street, or arguing in the street, or doing something in the street." They would tell them, "What? Oh, for in my household, man, when I go out and do things and they kind of tell my mom and pop, I told you, they will not say a word to me. When I come home, they will not act mad. They will not mention nothing to me. They will treat me like they don't know what's happening. Oh, you back? Yeah, sit down, do this. And yeah, I think they don't know about anything. I don't even know that they know. But let me go to bed. Oh, Lord, let me go to bed. I will be sleeping. And my mom, Pa, Louise Walsall, and Alexander Smith will come in that room with their rattans. Both of those people got rattans. And they will lock that room door. And I'm sleeping on the bed. Man, and they will start flocking me. Oh, man. Can you imagine getting out of your sleep with rattan marks on your back and it's just coming down and you can't stop? All those people will just be beating me, beating me, beating me. You did this, you went out, you did this, and they're telling me why they're beating me. You did this, you better don't make us shame. Oh, man. Sometimes I had to run out, jump under the bed to stop them from beating me. Or go under the bed. And they still won't put the switch under the bed. I would catch the switch and be, oh, man. It was hell on me. It got to the point that every night when I came home, I used to get on my knees and pray to Jesus Christ that I didn't do nothing to piss my parents off. From an early age, I like to pray to beg Jesus, man. Jesus, please don't let these people beat me tonight. I can't take it. These people won't beat me. I met my cousin, AK boy, William Wadsworth. He and I were raised together the same kind of way. And he was telling me, he said, Boy Blue, my pa abused me. He was mean to me. He was evil. He did this. I said, what he did? He said, Blue, I should be sleeping that man, so lock the room door. And come beat me for things I did. He said, how could you do that? So he was telling me, and I was just laughing. I was listening to him laughing. He said, what are you laughing about? I tell you about my problem, you laughing? I said, my man, you piss off like this because of your pa? You had one man beating you. I had two people beating me with the same force and strength that body could provide them. I'm not mad. I'm not cursing them. You mad? You better thank God you have only one person. Man, I said, do you know what it is to have two people beating you at night? You never had the idea about it, man. Those rattans used to be coming down on my butt. You know, people thought, say, oh, my auntie used to spoil me and things like that. Yeah, she did spoil me under some circumstances. But when it came to disciplining me, she didn't play. She didn't play. No. When she caught me, I got my share of whooping. So I will stop here today with my lesson. We'll stop at authoritative style of parenting. Tomorrow, if I don't have any interviews or anybody coming on, we'll go ahead, which I don't. We'll go ahead with permissive and uninvolved parenting. And we'll end this segment about teaching. So I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed my teaching, because parenting, good parenting in our society is necessary. Okay? It doesn't matter whether you're from a single family or a married household. It doesn't matter. It matters that your parents or your single parent wants to see you develop to be a productive member of our society. Any parent who wants that for their child will ensure that they get the knowledge, the training, and the ideal they need to raise their children to be productive members of our society. We call that the socialization process of a child, the way they're raised from childhood to adulthood. I hope you enjoy my lesson. We'll talk tomorrow. Take heed and govern yourselves accordingly. Thank you. I appreciate whatever support you can give me financially. I will not stop asking for money too. I want money too. Okay? I got a cash app. I stopped putting the cash app up. I will put it up. Support me. It costs money. You see all these things I do. I spend my own cash to bring a good production to you so that you can see that people in our community care about you, about our community, and giving them the best in everything that we can provide. La luta continua. The struggle continues. Have a good day. I'll talk with you tomorrow. We'll finish this topic on parenting style.